Hello, you beautiful collection of pixels. This is Sidrat Gaming. I am, of course, Sidrat, and I am playing AtomCraft, which is a sandbox adventure game where every pixel is physically and chemically simulated. So we can harvest, react, and manipulate all 118 elements to craft everything from simple tools to complex systems. If you like the video, like, subscribe, leave a comments, etc. The link for the game, which is now available on Steam, is in the video description as well. So definitely check it out if science is your jam. Let's get on with it. This is episode 5. There has been an update on Friday 31st of July. Let's bring that one up there. So this update, another quality of life, another bug fix, etc. It's doing really good work. But essentially, where are we? Yes. So what you can see in the image, unfortunately, is that the hammer tool can cycle through line, empty rectangle, and filled rectangle, empty and filled oval. The hammer tool can also have spacing between dots from 1 to 4, and the hammer user interface has been simplified with toggle buttons that can cycle through states. Excellent quality of life feature. What you can on the screen, if you're not reading through, is cooling, heating, pixels, and mechanics. The wrench, which I don't think I've unlocked yet, as well as programming improvements as well. You're also not going to see things that are coming soon, but not really soon TM. What are the bug fixes? Bug fixes, issue with system reactions not appearing in the guide, tab and using other languages, okay. And the bowl of coal should be removed from actual food ingredients. That was a weird one. What else? Made the sim loader cost... the sim loader pixel cost 1 iridium and 1 ectoplasm now. So that's been moved to biome 3. And doubled the drop rates of trace elements that drop from time, etc. But that's the update, is mainly the hammer user interface as well as the programming once you get to it. But yeah, that's all good. We can switch now. Right, so in a change to the expected output, with thanks to Zahait's video, posted in the video description for the inspiration that they gave me while I was watching his videos for the inspiration I was looking for. Essentially, his idea was a semi-automated Oxide Furnace, and he made tweaks along the way. He was happy with this build, and then I started playing offline because I too wanted to make some progress with the new understanding and the new way of thinking about what is needed and how to get stuff from one point to another point without it being too far away or being too close or being too smothered, because in this game, if you enclose something you want to heat, it's going to get smothered if there isn't enough airflow. Wow. So it's like thinking in 3 dimensions but for 2 dimensions. We're also able to build from clay or ceramics, which is just clay heated up. Let's bring up the wiki. Let's do clay. So does it have a temperature? It doesn't have a temperature icon or a thermometer icon, so that tells me it doesn't melt. What about ceramics? Ceramic wool, no temperature, no temperature. So this item is magnificent, and it's essential. I've now made, because of the previous version, which was a great little semi-automated furnace, but it wasn't able to semi-automate the oxide clearance. Bronze, for example, great example, because I've just done it and I've made 540 units before I thought of an addition that I could do to make it actually semi-autonomous. The manual part of that process is dropping things in the hopper. Okay. If you don't know how to manufacture clay, then you find on your map, because it is different, the maps are going to be different, but somewhere in your game world, usually in the first layer, is going to be this guy and this machine here. This machine is the blender. These blending pixels I've added in myself manually. You can unlock those with the crafting tab. That's the crafting tab, and you automatically get these straight away. Blender just takes the copper and iron. There's also other things that I haven't unlocked yet, but there are things that I have unlocked. I've unlocked the thermometer, the compass, and the fast gears as well, because it needed bronze. I think it needed bronze and nickel, which again, nickel is an oxide, so you need to combine that with carbon in order to purify it and get raw nickel from it. Bronze, you just mix and drop in both molten copper and molten tin at the same time. You could try to do it like manually in a normal, even on the floor, and that will work, but the metals do warm up quite fast, so keeping them hot will allow them to mix in. This build that I'm going to do right now is hopefully going to sort that out. I'm just going to make sure that I could design it so that we've got two hoppers on one side and a third hopper on the other side, because we've got access to switches and wires. We've got access to switches and wires because there's machines dotted around. Some are more useful than others, or you can sacrifice one machine in order to build a better version nearer your ship. Switch, that's what I'm looking for. So you've got the switch. I've only got the one switch for the time being. But the switch reverses the conveyor belts. I'll show you shortly. And wire. Okay, we've got 13 units of that as well. That's fine. As you can now see on the crafting tab, you've got conveyor left, right, and reversible. Moves the pixels above it sideways. Now it defaults into conveyor going to the right. With the switch, you press the switch, it'll go left. Hence me picking up the switch, because that doesn't seem like a bad idea. But it only needs copper and iron, and you do what you need to do to get copper and iron from the main forge to the left of where I am now, on my map anyway. Could be different for you, but you get crap ton of that. You stick it in your ship, because it will weigh you down, and you've got conveyors. You've got conveyors till as far as the eye can see. Okay, and blenders could be helpful as well, but I have a decision to make, and I have to put things into the into the thingamajiggy. Okay, so we're going to keep coal. I'm getting short on coal as well. Do I have? I probably do, but not on me. Charcoal. CH. Charcoal. I've only got a little bit of charcoal left as well. Off camera, I will be planting trees and getting a source of charcoal, because charcoal will now mix with water, and you'll get carbon from that. So coal is a finite resource. Charcoal isn't. Charcoal is infinite. You grow trees, you burn them down, you grow more trees, you burn them down, you've got charcoal. If you need carbon, you get water, you mix them together using the blenders, and you've got carbon. Okay, and yeah, and that's the nature of the game. So use coal. How much coal have I found so far on my map? Use coal rather sparingly, although you've got 15. Where am I? I am there, and my ship is right on top of me as well. So there's 1 pixel of charcoal where I've just come from. I'm not going to hunt for it. 561 to the bottom right, and 1500, 1400, 600. That's a bit weird. So there's quite a large volume, but if you're not careful, it will only go down. You've got 18 there. That was dropped for some reason, because as far as I know, once it's gone, it's gone. That's gold there. But I'm not going to be sidetracked today because I am on a mission. Yeah, right, okay, so we've got ceramic, and now I'm going to get the conveyor belts to the right is fine. We can stick them on. We can put in copper wire and a switch, and I want reversible conveyor belts. I don't see any reason to build left or right conveyor belts, because that way you're stuck with the left or right conveyor belts. With the reversible conveyor belts, it automatically defaults to the right, and if you need it going left, get a switch, get some copper wires, that'll be absolutely fine. That should be where is it? Electronics. That should be my next main project. Get more copper, get zinc and silicon, but I'm not doing that now. That will be for a different video. But yeah, once we can build our own electronics pixels, then we'll have button, switch, doors, sensors. I don't know what they're sensing. Heat resistant sensors, just in case you want to stick it into the furnace. Copper and zinc, aluminum, silver, gold wire. They must be different for a reason. I don't know what. And heat resistance wire and light bulb. Now, wire is solid, so anything passing through will land on the wire. I can show you. I've also unlocked the ruler and the compass as well. It's pointing the direction, and you can toggle it on and off, which is absolutely fine. Ceramics, boom, it's solid. Wow. So yeah, just be mindful of that. Okay, so we've got ceramics, we've got the conveyor belts, we've got buttons and switches. I think I'm going to be adding a clay. Because clay is practically infinite, you might as well build with clay or build the top parts of ceramics. It doesn't matter, okay? Clay, ceramics, and then get rid of that one. Conveyor to the right, reversible conveyor there. Switch and copper wire. Another tip is that you can actually lock the bar. Now if they're empty, it's not going, if it's empty, it's not going to, it will fill up even if it's locked, like that one. Because it's empty, I'll lock it now. It's locked. If I mine some dirt, which I don't currently have, it's going to fill up because it's empty, but it didn't go into there. So what else can I do? I can mine granite now. So that one's empty, but it's reserved for tin. So if I mine granite, then it should not appear on my taskbar. Just a thought. But yeah, just an aside there. Right, but I'm not here for that. I'm here for this. So think about the lowest point on your forge, because you still have to get under it in order to light the fuel source. Okay, so we've got 24 to the right. Don't want it. I'm building, so it'll be 2 on one side and 1 on the other. 2, can I do that? No, two on the left and then 1 on the right hand side, because I'll need that conveyor belt to go left, and I've only got 1 button to do that. Right, okay, and don't do that because that's foolish. Instead, hold down shift, so you've got the line. So conveyor belts to the right, we've only got 24, so that's fine, but this will be I'm trying to think of where the middle should go, because this first conveyor belt is where the fuel will be burned to, and I don't want to build it too far left or right. I can add. So what am I talking about? There we go. Right, so that's cool, and we'll put a stopper on there, and that is absolutely fine. This is an idea inspired, but an idea that I know works, because we could have a diagonal of clay or ceramics going through there and the pixels would trickle down. Absolutely fine. And I'll still probably do that. Let's do that here, in fact. Because this is going to be the entrance, and I want it diagonal, exactly diagonal there. This is going to be the entrance for the fuel source. So we can have, conveyors don't require power, so go for it. 35
35 across. That was annoying. Sorry about that. And we'll grab that one as well. $35 across and leave that there. So we'll put it in like so. And now we can throttle it. It's all about throttling, okay? And making sure that it doesn't all fall out or drop out. I think on the conveyor belts, it's not going to do that anyway. Let's dump a load down. No, okay, it's cool. So with conveyor belts, it will only be one high. Unless you do another conveyor belt. Anyway, I'll come to that bit. So this should be the fuel source. Boom. Always clean your equipment if you're working in a lab, and that's fine. We might as well put the coal there. I know I mentioned about using charcoal rather than coal, but I've only got 35, so go for it. But this is my fuel source, fuel container. Actually, I am going to put a fire break there because that should prevent. Don't need it too high. That should prevent the fire from getting into the main supply because we only want heat to be here. We don't want it spreading. What we now have, what I now have to work out is that can go there. It's not going to be venting, so let's make that. Right, so oh dear. Sorry about that. That was my mistake. I was chasing too much and not paying attention. But that's fine, right? Okay. Get onto the clay with the right tool, and then so this is 1, 2, 3 pixels high. 4. Right. Oh, for God's sake. There we go. We've got the coal. And if you can't see what you're doing, zoom in. Don't struggle. No reason to struggle. And we want the off gases to go in one direction. So by having it there, how big? It doesn't. This container for fuel source doesn't have to be that big, because we're only burning one line at a time anyway. So, and we're going to want to change. So this will go, right, okay, yeah, that's fine. I was just thinking ahead. Ideas are great, aren't they? You've got an idea and then you have to implement it. Right. And I will explain why I am slightly confused. Right, okay. I've got a rough estimate of what I want to design. That's clay, that's good. That's all good. So essentially, the fuel goes there, the first ore goes there, and the second ore will go, or the carbon will go on the other side. Maybe will that work? No, that's not going to work on the other side. It's all going to have to come from the right. Okay. Change plan then, and you'll understand why I've got a long row of clay and ceramics, so that when I do that, I don't have to worry about bringing up dirt as well. I'll leave that there and scoop up that. So the clay aspect, or the fuel delivery, if we bring that up to there, then it can sit there and I can put a block there. This will be the first one, because it's only going to be one high. And we can get it over there as well. Mine, that's fine. Don't worry about that. So now we need to design. We'll need two things. A chimney, fuel there, I'm just imagining it, which direction to come from and go into. Right, okay, so block this off. That wall is probably going to change its shape, but anyway, so for the first part, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. If that's the chimney section there, then this could be solid. Gas doesn't go through conveyor belts. So if we make it like that, will that be too high? And we want to close this off. Or we can put the chimney on the other side and block this side off and lower everything down. Let's experiment. Let's just, before I do that, let's build a diagonal, just so that we can capture whatever gases we can generate. But this is one line of coal, and I'm going to stick clay up there. Will it get to 700 degrees? If it can get to 700 degrees, then that's fine. If it can't, then we need to lower it down, and I'll have the chimney going in the other direction. 5, 6 is going. 7. Right, okay. As you know, or as you may know, the design using conveyor belts will be one high. This isn't enclosed either. Right. Let's reset. The only thing I'm testing for at the moment is that gap. Is it too long? Is it too high? If it is, then the chimney goes in that direction, and that gets this gets lowered down, and this will be blocked off. So the chimney is going that way. That will be uncovered, and then the chimney can just go straight up and over. In fact, it could probably sit on top. Have an angle there, so the gas goes there and forms there. We'll have the hoppers over here. Coal. Watch. There we go. Only let's one layer through. And we'll need to say that's the cutoff point there. This should be the chimney section, and we've still got gas. Right, okay. Did you hear that? The conveyor belt's filling up. Oh, balls. Right, okay, where's the clay? Coal. And what was I melting? Let's melt, or let's oxidize, I should say. Nickel oxide, yeah. So pencilodite powder will oxidize into nickel oxide. So you have to then add carbon, which goes on top, in order for it to purify. So that turns into that with carbon will do the job. So let's take this and put it here. That's the line. Nickel oxide. Light powder input. You could also use hydrogen gas if you so wish, or sulfuric acid, but that'll get you the wet version, aqueous. Steam, carbon monoxide, carbon, hydrogen gas, that's steam. Right, so in order to do that, purify nickel oxide into nickel with carbon, you need to reach 827 Celsius, which with one layer of coal, I've turned my jetpack off, but let's set it afire, and we'll also monitor the temperature there, as well as the spread of the fire, and that's not going to go well, is it? No. Right, okay. I don't really want to. Right, okay, that's fine, because this is the burning area, if you will. Charcoal. Have I lost my coal bit? Coal. Charcoal. What else? But small switch. Clay. Right, yeah, that's fine. So nickel oxide is there. Now that I got clay in my hand, I can stick it back on the conveyor belts. We can monitor the spread of the burning. The heat, yeah, we've got carbon dioxide there. What's the temperature getting up to? I think we're going to have to lower it because that's 600. Carbon dioxide, 1000. And then the nickel, it's not going to do anything because I don't have any carbon. So if we put a sprinkling of carbon, and I really do mean a sprinkling of carbon, then it will turn into it should be turning into nickel, if I can actually see it. Molten nickel, there we go. But because the carbon above is falling onto the conveyor belts, no new nickel is being formed. And because now all of that is going to be carbon. And we don't want carbon on this layer. We want nickel. So this is, so we know at least that one works. Didn't go through all of that coal then, did I? Okay. Right, clean and cool. There we go. Those animals under here farting, which is why I'm picking up methane. I'm scrubbing it, I'm scrubbing it. There we go. Okay, so that worked. It did. But we had to add the carbon manually, which we don't want to do. We want 2 items on here. So what's the best way of doing that? And then I can pick it up by hand. Excellent. So we want two items, one on top of the other. So we can so that will be there. How much fuel? How much space do I need? So fuel item 1, item 2. Okay. We may need to extend it because that way the fuel or 1 or 2 or carbon, and then a chimney section at some point. But yeah, it would have to be, it does have to be between that one and that one, or it could be between this one and this one. No, it has to be between the fuel. Okay, that's cool. And that's conveyor belts, which we don't want as our wall. I thought I had clay selected, which we do want. So that would be source 1. This is the flue chimney thing. So if we make the chimney go that way, we'll do it exactly on a diagonal, like so. And because it is going to evaporate, we'll make it lower. Yeah, that's not a bad idea actually. Yeah, we'll make it lower. Boom. So any evaporating gases will now fall into here. They've already formed. Methane from the animals below. Could make that go up slightly more though. Why do we want to make it go up slightly more? So that as the gas rises up here, it gets stuck beyond that point, so it doesn't trickle back down water, for example. So let's do that up to there. One more for luck. Aye, for luck. We don't want the gases to... There we go. So this section will be the fuel off gas. There's also going to be a second off gas for the stuff that we're burning around here as well. Yeah, so this is where the magic happens. We've got one layer of the oxide or whatever we're burning, melting, and that will sit here. We need a second layer to sit on top of it. So my idea is to have a conveyor belt like so, Don't forget to change it to a clay. There we go. And this is going to be the hopper for the third item. So fuel, or carbon, or the third mix, whatever. Because, right, okay, I need to see if this works. So let's do it in order. So we got the coal there. Is that coal? That is coal. We are really short of coal. And let me use, so this is the burning section. And the burning section, because I want to angle up. Same principle as over here. So that's angled up. Oh, this is nice actually. That's fine. And then we're making it go. Into here. There we go. And we can get rid of the excess. Like that. And I can pick it up from there. Because it's all conveyor belts. Oh. Have you ever painted a floor and forgot where the door was? Yeah. Me too. Okay. Put a stop to that nonsense, shall we? There we go. Okay, so now what we've got access to is a gap. We don't need a gap, we don't want a gap. And I'll fill that gap in with clay. Okay. Methane, always bloody methane. Right, nothing there. If necessary, I will get more coal. I may edit it out of the video, but it's just one of those things. I'll even add in charcoal as well. So, right, okay, so nickel oxide, first of all, that's now on the conveyor belts. If this is going to work, the carbon that I drop in will have to travel across there when it's not doing it. Bugger. Is that because I've still got them here? So if I pick them up, it drops down. Right, okay. Oh, drops down onto that one. That's the only one that does work. Well, what if... What happens if I just... Right. So now that is a big row of nickel oxide. But carbon is just going to sit there. Excuse me. Right, okay. That's kind of annoying. So the conveyor belts are just magic items that will only transfer one item at a time. And of course, because they're solid, you can't put another conveyor belt on there to have... No, surely not. Because the gases don't escape through the conveyor belts. Do I have any gases on me? I must do, right. Yeah. Carbon dioxide is not getting into that section here, staying there. Right, okay. Drip, 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 drip. Actually, it doesn't have to be that extreme. I need more. Oh. Iron. Right, okay. And if you don't select 11, you don't get any at all. Now you get 11. Copper, iron. And iron. Right, okay, so it is copper that I will be needing shortly. And copper was... Yeah, copper, tin. Oh, that's where it's all gone. It's gone into bronze. acid copper output. Scroll down. Cuprites, 99 in spaceship. Right, okay. $99 cuprites. Excellent. Right, okay. But I can turn this into copper because we've got the fuel there. We've got what we will have. Don't have a lot of it, but yeah. Cuprite there. So cuprite goes into there. Blah blah blah. I go with the lighter, and that falls into the gases. They go off on that side of the screen. Sorry. Cuprites 100. Need to get it to 485. 2, 3. It may do, but it's going to take a while. I'm so glad I had a shortage of copper and iron, because we now know that it does need to be lowered down, and it's far easier to do that now. We may even be able to shift everything across, and if I do that, then you'll blink and miss it. Okay. Don't need to make things massive either, because that's just where madness lays. Right, so we've got the so this will be the fuel. How big do we want the fuel section burning to be? If we make it 30 pixels, that's fine. Switch to whatever. Yeah, right, okay, so but essentially, and I'm not going to break all of them off because I will use that as a guide. So if that there, coal there, along here, was not high enough, or that was too high for the main burning section. And if we bring it down, right, okay, yeah, that's fine. The rest of it I'm going to block delete, because that way it's all on the floor. Unbelievable. Right, okay. I'll think about this. I will be time traveling, so allow me to ponder and test out more ideas that would actually work. It doesn't work. A conveyor belt will only take 1 pixel, and anything on top of that pixel is not going to be transferred along with the original pixel that it was on top of. That will keep moving away. Charcoal goes along there, that's at the bottom. The off gases will go up and into here. That's because it's shared with this burning section. Absolutely fine. And hopefully it doesn't go past and take up all the fuel at the same time. We need the oxide on the bottom layer. We need the carbon above that. But we can drop that, that's absolutely fine, that's not a problem at all. But even if I drop carbon, let's drop it in a small amount. Even if I drop carbon there and pick up the nickel, the only thing that will happen is that the carbon will come down onto the bottom layer, stopping the oxide coming over. So the only other way would be to have it dropping from this direction. So that one won't be used at all unless it becomes the... But we can't do that because, well, we can. I just don't want to. In the meantime, this kind of shape does work. I will demonstrate it. Charcoal. Let's increase that one so we know what we're doing, and it's daytime now, so that's even better. That's a load of charcoal in there because I've planted a forest, and it'll probably be bigger. Nickel oxide goes on that conveyor belt. There we go. Got a layer of nickel oxide. If we light this up, the gas should go there, the gas go up there, same place, job done. That's 22 degrees Celsius, which is nice. And that's, ooh, here we go. I may need to make that bigger. But we can heat up the nickel oxide. That's not a problem at all. When it comes to the carbon, we could do that. Where is it? Nickel oxide. Molten nickel. There we go. That's not going to work. That's molten nickel there. What's the temperature like over here? Charcoal 93, 80. Okay, there's some runoff, but we'll just make that bigger. Make this bigger as well. I think I had better do that now. There we go. And I'll tidy that bit up after. Later. What is going on with my controls? Right, okay, nothing. Okay. Let's come back, see how this is coming along. That is molten nickel. I can pick that up. Because molten nickel let's build a trough. And fill it with water. It's in there. That's fine. We won't need a crazy amount of water. Why am I doing it this way? Sorry about that. Right, excellent. Carbon, nickel oxide. So periodically, we're gonna have to pick this all up. But when we start picking up the nickel oxide, that's when we're gonna have to do the line of carbon, because I don't know how long this carbon will take to burn. Carbon. Right, that's more like it. Boom, boom, boom. Molten nickel. Pick it up. And we've even got nickel there as well. What's this one? Carbon. That's all nickel oxide. So do that same thing again. Carbon. Carbon. Molten nickel. Molten nickel. Drop that into there. And nickel. How much have we got? So again, it comes down to being able to manage the amount of carbon. That can access the oxide, or does it? Are we all being a bit silly? Does it actually need to interact directly? Yes. Yes, it does. Right, okay. So it does. Right, okay. The only thing I can think of then would be using filters. And I mean using filters so that that's the oxide, that's the carbon, that's the filter, that's the carbon supply. And it will only let carbon through one at a time. But then you're going to have carbon on the conveyor belt as soon as you pick up the molten nickel. But then you could have filters or a filter at the end of the conveyor belt. So if it's carbon or whatever oxide you're purifying can leave, and that may be an alternative. I haven't played around with filters yet though, so I don't know. Apart from not being able to pass through here, what the? Alright, okay. Don't panic. Don't panic, he says, panicking. Right. Where's water coming from? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what we've got. Whoa. That was groovy. Charcoal, I didn't lose anything that I couldn't keep. And I was going to extend this bit out anyway. What have we got here? Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. And carbon monoxide. Right. Let's keep that line in. Oh. Right, and then, because that's a clay wall, we don't want a clay wall, do we? No. That needs to go there. And be careful. Oh, be careful, he says. Unbelievable. Right. Okay. Really disappointing, but there must be something we'll be able to do with what have we got? Sensors? No, not sensors. Filters. So yeah. Do I have filters of any kind? It's not going to be on there. Filter. No. We've got one. We've got allow solids. Actually, we've got 22 of them. What have I got in the way of nickel now? 148. What was it for? What was the nickel for? What was the nickel for? What was the nickel for? Do I trust myself with a rocket launcher? No. Steel and a nuke launcher. Okay. I know I wanted it for something. was it? Okay. Well, anyway, we've got some nickel. But this setup will actually work for the base minerals. Cooperite. We can now get copper or copper oxide or whatever it is, and that will be very quick. We can melt the pyrite as well. That should be fine. I have no idea what this stuff is, but it's heavy, so we'll give that a go as well. Fuel, bump, material, bump, set it on fire, select the hand, drop it down to 1 so you can see what you're doing, and that will eventually get to temperature. Eventually. Come on, you can do it. There it goes. It was going. What temperature do we need that to be compressed? Alright, okay. Okay. Let's not worry about that one then. Because we're only using charcoal. Oh, here's some copper. Okay, cool. It did work, but yeah. Okay. And I think catching that was just luck. Let's switch to coal because I have been doing some coal mining. Wrong one. Coal goes. Coal goes in my backpack. Coal, there we go. What does 1,000 coal look like? That's what 1,000 coal looks like. And I'm zoomed out as far as I can go. But yeah, we can get the coop right. There it goes. So fire to the coal. This should be a much faster process. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is, right in the middle. Molten copper. Molten copper. 130. Oh, yeah, it's all gone. What's this one? Ah, right, okay, I see. I see what's going on. I see what's going on. What we need to do. Yeah, right, okay. There wasn't any coal. Well, if we move the backstop to here, take that one off. We'll pick that one up shortly. That one will 4 down. Get that one right. Pick up them 2. Keep things tidy. That should be better. Should be, but as it stands, it's much for muchness. Yeah, if you are left with 1 or 2 units, it's going to be annoying. But it's better than the alternative. And I've just saw a flaw in the design of the chimney. Right now, everything from those 2 locations, because this is the fuel off gases, and anything that smokes will come up here. We can take that one off as well, because that did, unfortunately, that did bugger all. Was it because it was too far away? Was it because it was too far away? We know it's only ever going to be 1 high unless we drop something on it. But then it doesn't allow gases through, and then it won't burn up anyway. So unless you could build with the carbon, which you can't. Or yeah, carbon. That's what it says. When you can't build with something, it'll just fall straight down. Pyrites. I'll stand still now. Take that one off, bring that one down. Sorry, just giving it a bit more oomph on the burning of the coal or charcoal. Alright, come on. Come on, you can do it. We're making rust. Why are we making rust? Why does it turn into rust? Oh, it may be snowing. Okay. Oh. This is fun. That's all going to melt soon. 15 degrees Celsius water surrounded by ice, and the ice is -8. Right, let's make coal. Let's do that one there. Right, we've got coal now, so that should be a bit more oomph to it. Wow. Lead oxide, there we go. So this stuff will eventually be lead. Oh, and we've got vanadium pentoxide. This is a lot of snow. This is ridiculous. Lead oxide. Let's zoom in and see if we can get you a better picture. Vanadium oxide. Okay, let's cut this off. And picking up some snow by accident as well. Temperature is rising, and the water will as well. Chlorine gas, sulfur gas. Water. Okay, so lead oxide. To the wiki we go. Vanadium penta. What's it used for? Combined with calcium, it makes vanadium and quicklime. Combined with carbon, vanadium carbide and carbon monoxide, and that's carbon. A lot of carbon makes that. A little bit of carbon makes that. Vanadium carbide. Carbide steel. So that would be vanadium carbide and steel. Oh, right, okay. Vanadium carbide. What do we need? We need 64. In order to upgrade the drill. On that note, I will have some editing to do for this particular video. But yeah, if you can tweak it, if you can refine it, I remember I've got the allowed solids as well. Allowed solids. But yeah, it's going to let every single solid through. Because that's what it will. You can't program it. No. No, so if it's water, for example, the water will sit there. If it's coal, it'll pass straight through. So useful, but not for this purpose. Right, okay. Okay, I had hoped it would work, but this design with 2 layers, absolutely fine, and pretty small, because what, it'll be about this big. A long run up does prevent your fuel from catching fire, or this fuel or burning. So yeah, this big will be absolutely fine. Because if you're going to be adding and removing the carbon anyway, you may as well. On that note, have a great week. Take care. Leave a comment as well. It's been fascinating. So you've seen my 3-stage or 3 parts furnace. You put the fuel there, you put whatever you're melting there, that's zinc oxide, and you light the fire, you light the fuel to make the fire, and then you get your carbon, and these pixels here are blenders. Just a light dash of coating, select the hand tool, reduce it down to say 2 or 3, and you now have molten zinc, which you can pick up. The only downside is that if you place too much carbon, it's gonna block the oxide from coming through. So it's still not really a like an automatic. I'm going to move out the way. Actually, let me do that one. It's this one here. Oh, cool. Zinc. We've got some pure zincs finally, right? Okay. If you place the carbon there, and then pick it up, it tends to go better. So I don't understand why, but try it. So that's carbon, right? Okay, so all of this is now carbon. So do that one. This is now zincs. I'm sure there is molten zinc in there somewhere, but we'll add a bit more carbon and then select the molten zinc, scoop that up, and is that all? No carbon, and it's done. What else have we got? Zinc oxide. Oh, a bit more. Oh, okay, cool. I thought I had already done it. Come on, there we go. Yeah, we've got molten nickel, so we can actually select it. Oh, that's empty, right? Okay. Nickel. There we go. We've got those. What about molten? Don't have any molten zinc. Molten zinc. There we go. That's more like it. Nickel, nickel, zinc. We can put that on there, and it now becomes sink. Just like that. Just like that. Is it what we want? No. Is it what I was going for? No, because the conveyor belts don't support and transport more than 1 pixel high. So whatever's on the conveyor belts is the only thing that will move unless something drops down. And in this case, the carbon will drop down and mess it up. The blenders can do a good job of moving things around, but whether you get whether you get the oxide on the bottom, it's going to be weird. I may want to, while you're here, what's it called? Blender, right, okay. Let's see if we've got blenders in. No, it's just in the ship, that's fine. Right. I will see if we can. I'm going to stop this fire because it's going through my coal. And we don't want that. So let's place blenders into that one. Select that. Select dots. Yeah. So if we go up there and then so we want it to be on 3 and then left and there. So that one 5. So that's 6. I don't know if I moved then. I think I did. Alright. Okay. Boom, boom. In that case, we'll put these here instead. That's fine. We're 1 short, but yeah. Let's try this again. We've got nickel oxide. We've got nickel, so let's do the nickel instead. Coal. And then... No. Wrong place. We don't put the coal into that one, do we? No. We clear off the gases. So coal goes over here. And then nickel can go into this one, it's fine. And then we can place the carbon. No, let's set it on fire first. Boom, boom, boom. Right, so that's good. So now what happens when we fill that up? Whoa. And we'll place molten nickel. Is this all carbon? Yeah, still all carbon. Okay, what's this now? Nickel oxide, drop the carbon, molten nickel, that's what we're after. Right. Essentially we're still stuck dropping the carbon in manually. So unless there's a way using filters or programmable doors attached to sensors, it's either going to change, either it's going to mean the developer providing an upgrade for the conveyor to transport 2 items at the same time. I don't mind that. I won't mind that at all if it means an upgrade. It's not a bad thing, and it's not like we don't have space for conveyor belt upgrades. Okay. Conveyor belts, logic circuits, and switches, buttons, whatever, they will all play a part in getting things automated. We still have to go out and mine them and bring them back, but if we can get a processing down, and then it'll be up to us to collect the gases or do something with the gases and collect the final product as well as any raw product as well, because on some recipes you do get more than 2 solids out of it, and of course 2 gases, but they rise up and who knows. Which one was I looking at? Yeah, I was looking at this one where it's zinc oxide and carbon monoxide. You need to heat that to 977 degrees Celsius, but that will do exactly the same thing that we've just done, but with more complexity, because carbon monoxide rises and that falls, and you do have to heat them up. So maybe it's like in a smaller box, but then where do the gases go? Yeah, it's because there is the carbon dioxide gas that's being generated as well. So, but if you've got a room where, if you've got a room that does have a chimney, then as soon as you put the carbon monoxide in, it's gone. It's not in the box where the zinc oxide is. That's getting heated up. But that's where I'm at on this currently. It would be great if we could get full automation, even partial full automation, which this would be, because you're still going to have to sit there and pick everything up, or have it go elsewhere using sensors and trapdoors and all the rest of it. But yeah, that's cool, which is I wanted to add this on, because it's progress of sorts. Progress, even when you don't make it, is well, at least we know it doesn't currently work. So hopefully that helps someone look in the right direction. Thank you.